Okay, so when you are like in the midst of major violation, and multitude of major violations to your life, I mean, what the fuck are you supposed to do? Like, you know, I've already attempted and sometimes succeeded in suicide attempts. When you see that these people, first of all, have been, what is that word called? Manipulated into believing that things are true. And people, when they come in with their insecurities, their neglect to understand that they are being manipulated is the reason for everything that they're insecure of within their own life. So when I say that I stay to myself on purpose and people manipulate and with these illusions that I'm there when I'm not, causing unnecessary confusion in other people's lives when pertaining to me, uh, is it's hard to believe, first of all, but it's the fact that I can't even maintain or manage my own healthy life because of me steadily having to contribute to people who are still early and young in their own maintenance and care. So when people are telling them, hey, it's okay for someone who's been living however many number of years to take care of you, and they don't know you and more than likely don't give a fuck about you, to take care of you for you, and then watch them turn around and try to manage your things that have grown into you managing that shit for that many years, is hard to understand. um I'm so frustrated, because it's not my job to explain or to show these people the way, because I didn't put myself in the position to. Not only was, me not being a firm believer understood, I was never a head of household with them as tenants or, people on the lease to live with me, because I never, maintained and placed occupancy, to share with people who were ignorant in their own demeanor. So like, I'm I'm extremely frustrated because they keep on inviting these people into these places where I'm staying, and they're not recognizing that psychopathic pattern that I've been victim of, where when I see you, I'ma stick to you like you're my mom or some shit, you know. When I tried to play mother duck, didn't nobody want to listen to me. But now that I'm grown, I've set in my ways. I don't want to be bothered, and they're not, you know, they're not understanding that. But what pisses me off is that most of them, like they said, everyone who had anything to do with this existence, which is none of them, had to die in order for me to either go on in peace and live my life the way I want to live, or to die and still be at peace. Because there's no reason for you to be out in there stirred up if you lived everything and done everything, and anytime you shared a memory with anyone, it's always been a negative memory. So you don't, I shouldn't be stirred up behind shit like that when I die and everything. But when you're dealing with opposite kinds of you, and been long out of school. So after being long out of school and they weren't able to express themselves then, come back even if they live in other states or other towns and things, you know, I'm still a victim of that. I don't know what you call that, but I guess a sociopath. I'm not sure. I don't know what you would call that. But for people who had been dead and didn't have much to do with me, and if they did, I was forced by whoever I was staying with. When I got on my own, I didn't have anything to do with any of them. It was what was related to you, why I had anything to do with you, or just saying, hey, you know what I'm saying? Basically, if you know where my stuff is at, you can bring them here, and then you can be on your way, But people want to feel recognized, they want to be acknowledged, and these are people who want attention no matter what kind of attention they're getting. But for me, who has been done this way for so long, I don't understand why anybody would want attention from. What I think is that because of what I've been through for so long, they want to be a part of that picture because obviously it is the majority. I'm by myself with this struggle, and no one else has the same story that I have. And so, like, this majority comes in, and these people who I didn't have anything to do with over time comes in wanting to be a part of the majority, not to have anything to say, but to feel a part of a group because they will always be the outcasted kind. Me, on the other hand, don't give a fuck, and that's why I stay to myself and everything like that. But you know, when you say all this, you know what I'm saying, is being misused or and basically wasted because everything that I can contribute or could contribute and everything that I have and had going for myself has had to be a share of people that I have gone miles and done extra to get the fuck away from. And that shit isn't recognized. You know what I'm saying? So why do I have to continue to focus on negative energy? I mean, every day there is some type of shit going on that causes, you know, negative affliction in my body. I'm tired of sitting off and being mad. I'm tired of, you know what I'm saying, having anxiety and panic attacks and shit in my chest because I ain't never been extra or theatrical, but I had this shit go on every day. You know what I'm saying? So I be like when you just sitting off in here with all of that, and then your wants are greater than, or your needs are greater than your, you know, that want for people to acknowledge and recognize you. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the shit I do is in private. You know what I mean? So I'm not out looking for recognition or, you know what I'm saying, anybody to admire me or any of this shit. It's the fact that, you know, I've been set off in here and seriously one lone individual going through shit with people who never learned their own direction. And they cause so much confusion. And then it's when it's white guys, you know, all kinds of them. There's fat white guys, there's bald head white guys, but they're white guys nonetheless. And I don't have anything to do with white guys, and that's not disrespect. It's just you already know what they do because I grew up watching TV. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of the things that I seen, you know, I internalized that shit and I just, you know, dealt with them in a different way. But when I get grown and see that shit is truly who the fuck they is, and you get stuck in a position where you cannot get those types of people to understand that you don't want to fuck with them because you've been put in a position to not be able to show, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, I got this under control. You know what I'm saying? If my mama don't bake me cookies, I'm finna go in the room and I'm not finna talk to her for a week. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not finna go out of my way and lay hands on her because she won't bake me no fucking cookies. You know what I'm saying? If I wanted some cookies bad enough, I'ma learn how to bake my own motherfucking cookies then. You know what I'm saying? So when you sitting out here with people who lash out at you because you don't agree with them or you're not wanting to focus any attention on them, I'm telling you that shit is a stress and a strain on everything. So I don't know, man. It is like when you sit off in here and, you know, you learn to cultivate your way and yourself in a way that says, hey, I know that you're there, but, you know what I'm saying, based off of how I'm influenced and how I choose to be with people, obviously I don't want to be, you know what I'm saying, so I do that in a way to, you know, keep myself aware, but to keep myself out. So like when I say that me being exploited and being all exposed of everything, you know, amongst people that aren't, you know what I'm saying, a pleasure to be around, you know, that's hard. You know, I got to live with that shit like forever. And then, you know, attributes of my life being shared with people who are nowhere near where I'm at mentally or anything. You know what I'm saying? I would have been able, like, I would have been a grown woman able to take care of myself and everything like that. But people who didn't understand the reason why I wouldn't fuck with them come in causing so much confusion, or the reasons why, you know, and that right there is neglect to figure yourself out and get comfortable with you. And begging for attention from people who are seriously like that for real, this ain't no, I'm not playing, this is not an act. You know what I'm saying? People who don't, who fail to recognize that shit or recognize that shit about themselves, you know what I'm saying? I always be somebody's problem. But it's when you go and die, and you know, died many times, and they keep calling you back to go through this shit with people. Don't nobody else want to go through shit with them. You know, I don't know what kind of social circle it is when you got a friend who has a bad idea and all the friends are like, hey, we're not gonna do that, you know what I'm saying? We have each other, you know what I'm saying? We're friends, let's do this instead. Instead they all jump on and always being in a social setting where jail or getting shot is a possibility, and not understanding that some people don't want to live that lifestyle, and you are not, you know, special enough for me to live that lifestyle with. You know, that's even worse, because where are your parents? You know what I'm saying? If those friends are not, you know what I'm saying, healthy for you, where are your parents? You know what I mean? But if they parent is on that shit too, cause honestly, I'm old as fuck, and like a lot of my time been wasted to sit here amongst people who are comfortable with being old as fuck amongst children, but I'm not. And so, like, when I say I'm old as fuck, and these people, you know, the first thing come out somebody ignorant mouth is to respect your elder. This elder is not begging for respect. This elder is begging for you to leave me the fuck alone. You know what I'm saying? And find somebody who used to be on your level to fuck with. You don't go bringing people into brand new shit. Like, even though this shit been going on a long time, this is shit I never would have done. You know what I'm saying? It's unimaginable to me because it's not fun. You know what I'm saying? I like to sleep. I can't even fucking sleep anymore because of these headaches. And what going on in anybody's household that's not mine is none of my business. So honestly, there's no common relation between me and any of these problems that I'm having to serve every day. You know what I'm saying? And when you pick up a job where you seriously, you know what I'm saying, the amount of time spent between you and them is so minute that you couldn't leave an impression on them any fucking way. But you know what I'm saying, to say, hey, you know, you're wasting life. You know what I'm saying? So since you're wasting life, I'm gonna waste your time. And I'm like, well, I'd say within a 5-minute time frame that I do have anything to do with you, then there's people that you have spent the night with or spent days and nights with, or, you know, and it exceeded a healthy amount of time to be around people anyway, because you're not getting comfortable with yourself and you always worried about someone else and how they think of you. But to come off in here and disturb my place, why is it a problem me wasting life if that's the mentality that life has? And then when you off in here like there's so, like I said, I'm the only one in the whole world going through shit like this, constantly disrespected, you know what I'm saying, all day long by people who haven't even learned to respect themselves. So if you ain't learned to respect yourself, that's not my job, you know what I'm saying, to be a part of that. Obviously, because I'm so fucking broke, you know what I'm saying, that it makes no sense. And then it's when they know that I'm broke and they still looking for shit to steal. Does that make any sense? When you broke as fuck, ain't got nowhere to go, ain't got nobody to call on, but you still looking for some shit to steal from that person. That's what fucks me up in the head. But ain't nobody knowing because this is such a primitive stage in life. You know what I'm saying? In the level, you know, of maturity and